like I used to stream. I used to game a lot
Okay.
when I was younger. So, I'd always have the feedback playing so I could hear myself. Because, when you have headphones on, you don't know how loud you are. And if you can't hear yourself, you're like screaming into the mic.
Especially gaming.
Yeah. Oh my God. My mom or my sisters would be like, shut the fuck up. You're being so loud. I'm like, I no disrespect, dude. I don't even realize.
I was locked in.
Yeah.
Trying to get this dub.
Hear shit. So I'm talking, Yeah. Man, a lot has gone on. Holy shit. I think the last time we talked, it was, like starting business and life. I think I just had my first kid, or was I having a kid?
You might have been expecting.
I think I just, I think we were just about to have our kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm on kid 2. Both
Congratulations.
boys. Thank you. Yeah. So they're 20 months apart. So that's been a really fun journey. It's funny because I was a coach for 15, 16 years of my life. So I have a lot of experience with kids. And, I've always heard like once you have your own kid, it's a different experience. And it's totally true. But I'm thankful because it prepared me for all the craziness. You know what I'm saying? Like my oldest is real calm and he's real calm and he's like afraid of things sometimes. Like, he's like a normal kid. And then when we had our second, Theo, he was real chill for the first year. And then I swear to God, it was like year and a day and like the psycho came out. This kid, like last week, straight up Superman dived off the couch. Like onto his face, flat on the, I'm like, bro, what in your brain thought like, I'm gonna just fucking go?
Yeah, how did this sound like a good idea?
Yeah. So, going through that phase. But yeah, so since then, 2 kids, business growing. It's been awesome. This year has been rough. We lost my father-in-law in January. That was really gnarly. And then 2 months later, my mom. So our family like didn't have a breather. Like we started our year out. Well, I mean, even before that, watching my father-in-law go through his cancer journey was rough. It was really rough. Especially because Bob was such a like strong dude. So to see him in a weakened state, not to like put it down in any way, shape, or form, but to not see him as his strongest self, just that idea was hard. But then watching his transition, or the decline happen faster and faster. Although he never complained. Not one time did even his wife, even my mother-in-law, never once did he ever complain or say like, he's hurting or anything. It was always, I'm okay. He always was just, I'm okay. But visibly you could see it. So we went through that journey and that was rough. And then when we lost him, it was, obviously people passing is not easy. So, taking the breaths and doing the things and trying to live life, not having him here. And then got the call from my mom that my mom's like, hey, I'm really sick now. It's time to come visit. And it's just like, holy
yeah, back
shit.
to back like that is terrible.
It was so quick. I mean, it's not even something that I've told publicly yet, like really what happened. But, me and my mom had a very interesting relationship. So, well, really quick, so I don't like ramble infinitely because I talk too much and I know it. We grew up homeless, had a super, super rough life. I mean, everybody has hard lives. Everyone has something, you know what I'm saying? But mine in particular was pretty gnarly. And so our relationship my whole life was like, you'd call me if something was wrong. You know what I mean? Like she'd call me to like rant about something or just like that real ear. Not like there was no sugarcoating with me and my mom.
You guys aren't just shooting the shit.
No, it was never sugarcoating. It was like straight up what you want to hear, what you need to hear, blah, blah, blah. Go on. So that was always our relationship. So my sisters would go visit a lot, visit her a lot. And I had like a lot of stuff going on. So I wasn't really present for my mom even before she was sick. So our relationship was strictly through the phone. So anyway, she called me. And in the meantime of her cancer journey, she told me.
Oh, she had cancer too?
Yes.
Ooh.
So she had pancreatic cancer and Bob had colon cancer. So yeah, it was crazy that me and my wife both lost our parents. And in such a close time span. Like the universe was like, hey, this needs to happen now. And now that I look back, I'm glad that it happened closer together rather than spread farther apart.
Just as like a ripping the Band-Aid off?
Yeah.
If it had to happen? I know that's a weird way to phrase it, ripping the Band-Aid off.
Yes. I'm really real with shit like this. So, for me, it definitely was like a ripping of the Band-Aid off because I couldn't imagine having to go through this journey with Bob, recoup, and then have it happen to my mom.
Yeah, have a 6-month recovery.
Yeah.
Finally get back on your feet
100%.
just to get knocked down again.
100%. So I'm glad that it happened within that time span. But yeah, so our relationship was always just like through the phone or whatever. And she called me. She kept telling me if it gets bad, I'm gonna call you and tell you that you need to come visit. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat and be like, hey, come visit me and hang out, and then you leave and I go. She's like, I want you to be there when it's happening. And I'm like, okay, cool. So she calls me one day and she's like, hey, I really think it's time that you come visit. And I'm like it's time to come visit? And she's like, yeah, I think it's time to come visit. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy my flight right now. And so I walked in the house, told my wife, we bought the ticket right then and there, text her like 15 minutes later, we'll be there. And she's like, holy shit, that was fast. I'm like, well, you told me, so I'm there. Fast forward 2 weeks after that phone call. We get to Oklahoma where she was living. She was taking care of my grandfather and ended up staying there. He passed from Alzheimer's a couple years ago. And so we get there and first time seeing her in probably like a year or two. Like we didn't see each other that often. Walk in the room and it was the same exact physical image that Bob was in his end stages. So immediately I knew, and it's weird because I don't want to like use the experience with Bob with my mom because it's total different things, but generally speaking, there's similarities that you can really see.
Especially with somebody going through cancer.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. So I knew, I saw her and I was like, holy shit, in my head. But of course I got to keep calm. My kids are seeing her. We had just seen her in September of last year. So from that time to now was like night and day. So my kids played with her and we hung out and then picked my sister up from the airport probably like an hour later with my mom. We fucking went to Dutch Bros and got coffee and shooting the shit in the car. She's just telling me like, the end of life, I want to go travel and I want to do stuff. My doctor told me I have 3 months. Like, this is what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, well, you should probably do it now and not think like next week or whatever.
I've got time. Yeah. Push that aside.
Yeah. And so she started crying and in my head, I'm like, oh, don't cry. Cause like, this is gnarly for you to be going through. Like, don't cry like that. Like be here and breathe and it's okay, But she was crying because I was the first person that was just like real with her since seeing her in that stage. So then she asked me, how was it with Bob? And that was the first time that I actually talked to her about it. And she was like, don't sugarcoat. Fucking tell me. And I was like, okay. So I told her exactly what happened. I told her how it was. And so anyway, so pick up my sister, yada, 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 drop my mom off at the house. She was hanging out with the kids, playing Play-Doh. We were like just talking, whatever. And then like in that moment of her sitting there, she's like, oh, I just don't really feel good and I have to use the restroom. And she has like a diaper thing, so it's embarrassing for her. My mom's a super, super strong woman. So for her to have her kids see her like that is like
tough.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And I'm very understanding to her in that aspect. So I'm like, okay, kids, let's go upstairs and let mom do her thing, And then, like 20 minutes go by, I go downstairs and she's just sitting there and she's just like, yeah, just, I think maybe we should just hang out tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, for sure. I'm like, let's pack the kids up. Let's go. So we go back to our Airbnb, sleep, obviously wake up, breakfast, about to take the kids to the zoo, and the aquarium with my sister and, my oldest sister. And then my youngest, or not my youngest, my middle sister, older than me, calls me and she's like, hey, I think you need to come over here. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, mom's like really lethargic and she's not really answering anything back to me. And I'm like, okay, well, Aunt Jody said, or Aunt Lori said that in the mornings, this is how it kind of is for her because she has to take her meds and get yada, yada, yada. And so she's like, okay, cool. Well, I'll just give her her meds and I'll call you back. And I'm like, okay, Calls me back 3 minutes later. She's like, Mally, I really need you here. I'm like, okay. I go over there. She had been up there all night. My sister's shorter than I am, a little smaller than I am, so she doesn't really have the strength to like pick her up and help her go to the toilet and move and like, you know what I'm saying? So she had been up there, and anyway, long story short, I ended up making the choice to call an ambulance. From what my sister was telling me, it was the same exact thing with Bob. And I was like, this is just way too familiar, you know? So called an ambulance. They took her to the hospital. And which, crazy side note, the same day that I sent her to the hospital and we all went there, we were there from like 9 a.m. until 2 a.m. the next day. That same day is the anniversary of my dad's passing. And us kids, me in particular, hated that man. He was a horrible human being to me. So for that day, it's not a pleasant day. And I'm sitting there in the hospital, and my mom was like chilling the whole time. Not chilling. I mean, she's not chilling.
But she's coherent. She's
yeah. You know, I'm like, hey Mom, you know what day it is today, right? And she's like, yeah, it's the anniversary of your dad. And then I was like, yep. And she's like, I better not fucking die today. And I was like, okay. That was real. All right. So we sat there and we hung out. And I mean, she was even doing shit like she would look at me across the room and say like, oh, you guys must be tired. I'm like, you're sitting on this bed, like on your last breaths talking about I'm tired. Like,
don't worry about us.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's the type of person my mom was. So anyway, long story short, my oldest sister was going to Oregon for my niece for college to go visit colleges. And, like, I just didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I just knew that she wasn't making it to tomorrow. This was on a Thursday. My sister was supposed to be here on Saturday. And I knew there was no way that my oldest sister there's no way she was going to last that long. So I called her and I was like, hey, I think you need to be here. And she's like, I will buy a ticket right now. So she bought her ticket. And I told my mom, and the first thing that she told me was, she said, I don't want to make any decisions or do anything until your sister gets here. And I was like, okay. And then the next time she said it, she said, I don't want to leave you guys until your sister gets here. And that moment when she said that was when I realized that she knew that this was it. So fast forward, my sister arrives at they landed at like 11:30. She didn't get to the hospital until like 12:15. My mom passed at 2:22 in the morning the next day. So my sister got there right before, and that was my mom's only wish, was that if it happened, she wanted everybody that she loved in the same space. And that's exactly what she got. It was crazy. My mom, whenever she tried to get the family together or the family got together, it was always my mom's doing, and it was by some slim chance. Always. Somebody would show up and be like, oh, I got a ticket cheaper. Oh, I made my flight on time. Or it was every single time. And then for her ending, everyone got there at the nick of time. And so it was cool because, you know, now I look back and I'm super thankful that she got to leave like that. Not most people do. I mean, she was dancing literally to her last breath. They started playing Bob Marley for my mom and took her mask off. They said she probably has like 5 to 10 minutes. She was like 35 minutes strong without that fucking oxygen mask. Yeah. So she was just sitting there kicking it. Like, she couldn't dance, but she was like wiggling her hands and doing the things. And that was it. It was a wrap. And it was crazy because, like, you know, I never knew that the fucking year was going to start like that, you know.
Yeah, but nobody goes into a new year thinking, oh, no way. Buckle up, because it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, you know. I think the hardest part for me about this whole thing is, like, because this, like, directly bleeds into my life. And the reason, obviously, because it's my mom and my father-in-law, it would bleed into my life. But even deeper in the sense of, like, my father-in-law was the first man in my life, father figure, that I ever really had and ever respected and showed me respect. And so when we started finally getting closer was when he was diagnosed. So I was already living with that idea of, like, fuck, it's too late.
great. The one person.
Yes.
The one figure I have in my life.
100%. 100%. Same with my mom. Me and my mom started getting closer in the way of like mom and son. Like she loved me infinitely. Of course, it's my mom. But it was really hard for her when I was younger getting over the idea that I was a man in her house because she just lived with an abuser for however long. You know what I'm saying? So that dynamic was always within our relationship. So we started to finally get over that after fucking 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So, and
also survival mode.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I mean, hard to be in a nurturing environment when you're just worried about, okay, where are we sleeping?
100%.
What are we going to do for food?
Exactly. So, yeah, it was crazy getting closer to Bob and then him leaving, getting closer to my mom and then her leaving. I don't even care about saying this publicly because whatever, it's about the story and it's important. But there was a moment where my mom was like, hey, I have a pen in my purse over there. Like, why don't you guys go take that and go take a break and go smoke outside? And so I went outside and I did. And I swear to God, the second I did it, I was like, why the fuck did I just do that? Like, why can't I not sit here and be it wasn't even a moment of like, I'm going to do this to take away the pain. Like, it was nothing like that. It was like, oh, cool. My mom, because like it's my mom, So but then I had like a straight up panic attack. And within that panic attack of doing that and regretting it and then it not hitting right and like everything happening at once, I just had this like super big realization that like I have so many bonds and friends and people in my life that are close enough to touch, but I don't keep them close enough to hug, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? And having that happen to Bob and then my mom, it was like a light switch. I was like thinking there's a huge change that I need to take on in my life and how I carry myself because I have 2 kids, Like I look at my boys every day and I just think about my relationship with my mom and my relationship with Bob and just think like, I want you guys to know who I am. I want you to know who your grandparents are and your family members. Our family was so split up for so long that my mom, funny enough, got us together for her end moments. And after she left, our family's never been closer. So in a weird way, it was like her way of
bringing you all together.
Yeah, weirdly. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that was like the start of our year. So I've just had huge like life thoughts lately about how I want to hold myself in my business, with my wife, with my children, with my friends. So yeah, I just it's a weird transition. And like, people always talk about some days it's great, some days it's not. I feel like it's really not the case for me because I have this subconscious mind, not even like my conscience, but like something in the back of my mind is always like, if you were sitting and crying and like, just sitting in this emotion all the time, your mom would be like, fucking stop doing that.
Yeah,
Bob,
wake up.
Yeah, Bob would be like, dude, stop. Like everything's okay. But then in the forefront, there's days where I'm just like, holy shit. Like I can't even breathe. I can't function. What do I do? Or I'll get angry really quick or like I'll snap on something and then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to like
reel it back in.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah. So, interesting journey. But it was a real moment of like appreciation really for the relationships that I have and had, and really realizing how important it is to hold connections with people. Like I said, most people are far enough to touch, but not close enough to hug. You know what I mean?
Well, it's tough because life just gets in the way. You have to actively make time to cultivate the relationships that you have.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. You focus on work for a week and it turns into a year.
Oh,
and you come up for air and you're like, oh shit, I haven't responded to all of these people. I've been bailing on them.
Mm-hmm.
And time keeps moving.
100%. So Yeah. So since the last time I saw you, I just pretty much worked in the shadows. Like that was all I did for work. I have never done an ad for my business ever. The first ad that I did, which now I can finally say publicly, was just last week. It was just announced yesterday, but last week we found out I actually won the Reader's Choice for Best Videographer for Humboldt.
Oh, congrats, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that was kind of like a really cool stamp. And a stamp for me in the way of like I said, I've never done any advertising. I've worked with over 40 businesses now here locally. And I think that, awards are awards, whatever. But for me, it was more of like a self-recognition that I finally really, really, did what I set out to do and be known for something in some capacity in this area. I mean, I'm not from here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and to be able to contribute in that way with something positive. That's helping businesses.
Yeah. And really holding a composure in my business, like the way that I hold myself in my business is true to myself. Like I'm in B&I. Do you know what B&I is?
The
Business Networkers International. Yeah. So I'm in B&I, and like even there, it's a place where business owners are. Even there, I'm myself. Even there, I'm cracking jokes. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna change myself to appease to people. So winning that award and being able to like really sit and reflect on how I've done it without advertising ever, and like just putting my face to the grindstone and doing what I got to do, was dope. It was really dope, and I'm stoked. Honestly, it's like, some people will be like, it's a silly award, but fucking I don't care because it's awesome for me,
And still, it's just that recognition that you are providing something positive to the community.
Exactly.
Especially where it is a creative work like that.
Yes. Yeah, and it's too because I feel it's weird too because I feel conflicted about it, right? Because like I win this award for best videographer, but in my head when I say best videographer, the first person that comes to my mind is Cosmo.
I knew you were going to say that.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. And I think it's too in part because I have so much respect for the work that he does, but also it like changed a narrative for mainly for music and music videos and artists and stuff like that. But yeah, when I think best videographer, I'm not even bullshitting. The first name that comes to my head is Cosmo. Every single time. And that's not even to like, throw my award and my whatever out the window. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? But it's a weird feeling because in part I feel like now I have to keep up, as the best. But
yeah, don't even think about
like,
that.
I'm not.
Push it to the side.
Yeah, I'm not the best. I am good at what I do. That's all I can say. But yeah, like I said, I just feel a little conflicted about it. It's super dope, but it's also like a target on my back.
Well, I think some of that is just imposter syndrome, especially where you do know Cosmo and you know these other people who are doing similar things.
Yeah.
It's easy to slip into that.
100%.
Oh man, they're way better than I am.
Yeah,
how did I get this?
100%. And we all also have a different type of art, and I think in my head why I think Cosmo is the best is because I want to do what he does. Like his style of videography is like what I close my eyes and envision when I envision things. So, mad respect to him. Even like Tex, I know that you chat with Tex. Like we had somebody very specific. I won't say any names, but we had somebody very specific tell both of us that we would never be videographers. We weren't good at what we did. We didn't know what we were doing. Continued to tell him that he was just an influencer and all this stuff. And like, he's like one of my best friends. I'm so fucking proud of that kid. Like he's now getting married. He's getting married in like 3 days. And his business is great and he does great work. And I think it's the fire that we both needed. You know, we really needed someone to tell us that we sucked, to be like, well, guess what?
Just wait.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, you know, fuck you, but at the same time, not really. I wish you the best. I hope that, you know, whatever you're dealing with, you figure it out and work through it, because we did, and you know, we're successful in the way that we are. Yeah, it's cool. You know, there's a lot of videographers that are on the up and up here. And I think it's cool because we need that in our community. You know, we need more of what we do going out. Like, it was really hard in the beginning when there was like 6 of us. You know, it was like, I have everyone's number in my phone. But now there's more people doing great work, and I love to see it. I love to see it. And in my head, you know, I can never say that I'm the best. Like, I'm not the best. I'm just good at what I do, and I got recognized this time. Maybe next time.
Steel sharpens steel.
Yeah,
you know, you got to be around killers to get better.
100%.
And some people, for whatever reason, get threatened by that and want to.
Oh yeah.
Keep others down.
Oh yeah. 100%.
You start seeing that talent manifest, and you think, let me squash this. I don't need any competition.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a dangerous mindset. You start thinking like that, and then you start alienating people, and then you find yourself alone in the closet.
100%. Yeah.
What happened to everybody?
Yeah. And I think too, in part, it's like you doing podcasts. There's not very many people who do podcasts here, but like, there's this small aspect that you all need each other. Even if you don't like the people, you still need each other, because without those extra people, one, everyone comes to you. That's a bigger workload. Can you keep up? Most people who, you know, like, say I had 20 people call me tomorrow. Hey, I want to book you for your services. And I'm like, I only got space for 2 of you. Most 18 of those people never call you again. You know what I mean? They want that availability. They have that, like, you know, quick.
I want it right now.
Yeah. So it's gift and a curse, you know? So it's like, I need Cosmo. I need Tex. I need Aoife. I need all of these other videographers that are out here, because I can't do it all by myself, you know? And nor do I want to. Like, that community aspect is super important for me. So yeah, it was cool to get recognized, but in my head, I'm like, fuck, I wish we had like best videographers.
Yeah.
You know?
Or break it down. Best music video.
Yeah. A little, you know, sub-partied kind of thing would be cool.
But also take a moment to appreciate it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you do put out great work, and that doesn't diminish the work that other people are putting out as well.
100%.
Because there are a ton of talented people here.
Yes.
This is just your moment.
Yeah.
And tomorrow it might be somebody else's.
Exactly.
And then you cheer them on.
And, you know, and I really hope that this sparks a fire under some people's asses. I really hope that it pisses some people off, and it's like, oh, he's not the best. Let me fucking up the game. Please do. It's like a hip hop. I don't know if you follow hip hop at all, but, you know, people have battles all the time, and it's a constant, like, who is better. But at the end of the day, it's not about being better. It's about, like, elevating.
It's about the competition.
Yeah, it's about.
'Cause that's what improves your skill.
100%. So, yeah. So, you know, I'm glad that I won it. I hope that it sparks some fire under some butts, and give me a run for my money. Because I remember when I first started, that's all I was doing was running for my money. And now, you know, I mean, I still am, but now I want some more people to start whooping ass. You know, I'm ready to see what happens with this. So yeah, it's cool, man. This industry that we are in here is tricky. Entertainment is not a thing.
And balancing people's emotions is tricky.
Oh my God.
I mean,
yeah,
it gets a little dicey. Last time Tex was on it, he kind of alluded to some of this, and we chatted about it, but you just gotta stay in your lane, you know, and focus on you. You can't bring everybody over to your side. You can try to build your community, and that's a good thing to do, but some people just aren't going to want to be a part of it.
It's so
true. You got to just cut those people off and say,
so true.
The community's here if you ever want to come back, but you can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have this in my life
100%.
because it's going to bring me down.
100%. The other aspect is, like, capitalizing on this niche. That's a sketchy business, because, you know, we don't really have a market for this business. If you really think about videography and Even photography, it's a luxury business. Somebody said that to me a couple months ago. We were talking about something. They were like, this is a luxury business, so we have to fight a lot harder for our work. And I'd never heard it as a luxury business, but when I thought about it, it's true. Like, you have to have money to pay for a videographer or photographer, So if we have people that are trying to like capitalize on the monetary gain only, well, a few things happen. You're leaving clients unsatisfied, taking money from clients that you don't need to, for your monetary gain. And then those clients are unhappy. And the next person who is really out to do some great work is going to get the short end of the stick, because they're going to be like, the experience that I had with this person really left a sour taste in my mouth, so now I don't want it. So there's like a really fine line to play out here. But also that line needs to get stretched a little bit, because the harder that we work and the more businesses that we're putting out, the bigger this market becomes. The better that those businesses actually see business themselves. I mean, I just went and sat for breakfast at the Green Lily the other day with my wife and my kids on a Saturday, peak breakfast times. There was like 7 people in there. And just that thought in my brain was like, that's crazy. It's like breakfast is a necessity if people want to go out and eat, sick. But the idea that people aren't, it's not even anything about the Green Lily. It's just people just don't do that stuff anymore. So like, if that money is not there, what makes me think someone's going to spend a couple $100s to have, you know what I'm saying? So like, there's that really, really sketchy line that we dance on all the time. So
especially nowadays with the market getting tighter and people feeling a little more strapped for cash.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we gotta figure some things out.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time too, what I actually coach a lot of businesses and business owners on media, like what it should cost, what it should look like when it's delivered, like all of the things that I know. I'm no expert, I'm no Gandhi at what I do, but I do a good job, so I coach them on the way, and part of that coaching is like the aspect of really understanding what you're getting. Like, a lot of people don't even understand. If I took a video of you outside and you paid me for that video, you don't own that footage. I do, no matter if you paid me or not, right? So if you took that footage and went and sold it or did something with it, that's my footage that you just sold, right? People don't understand those things. And so they get themselves in really tricky situations, especially when it comes to like commercial work. You have to pay for that licensing to run that commercial for however long you're running it. Because if you don't, you're playing in a real squirrely game. But like, nobody teaches them that.
And how would you know, especially if this is your first time?
Exactly. And I think it's cool because there's actual creators that will come to me and ask me questions like that. And I ask other people things like that. So it's cool to know that we have this community that we can, throw information back and forth. But it's honestly super humbling for me that so many people will come to me and ask me like, hey, how do I structure this pricing sheet or this license or this contract or this whatever? Just having that idea that we can reach out to somebody is dope. And that's the thing that I hold on to, is if I make a mistake in the position that I'm in, I'm going to fuck it up for the next person behind me. You know what I mean? And then eventually, who's going to be the one to help with the information, to coach this person to do this, this niche will just completely fall away eventually. So, it's that fine line. Like, a lot of the kids, even at Humboldt, that do videography, they don't fucking stay here. They all move. Most
go to
people,
somewhere better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, well, I'm going to go to LA. There's a bigger market. It's like, yeah, but it's a lot of really, really minute chalk lines that you have to be careful of stepping on there. And, so yeah, I spent that whole time from the last time I saw you till now just grinding as hard as I could. Really, really trying to create something that when I'm done and the client's done, they're satisfied, but they have enough trust that if somebody else comes to them, they're going to be open to that conversation. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's been an adventure. It's a small town. You can't fuck up here.
Yeah, reputation is everything in a small town.
Oh my God. Yeah.
A couple bad stories get out. Good luck.
Dude, game over. Yeah.
Nobody's going to want to work with you.
Yeah. I've been to venues and hear stories about people, and I'm like, yikes. If I'm hearing this from a venue, like that's not good at all, So I hope I never I hope I never get put in a situation like that. So
I think you're good. You care about your work.
I really do.
That's the foundation of it all. Is if you actually care about what you're doing, you want to put out a good product.
Yeah.
You're not going to screw people over.
Yeah. And I also just care about the people too. Like I think that's really why I do what I do. I really bring a true value to businesses, to families, to people, and coach them through it. I don't believe in like, I'm going to just show up and do this for you and then be gone. I'm going to show up and teach you how to do it just in case one day, if you don't have the money, you'll kind of know how to do it yourself. Because I love that people try to do things by themselves. The creator on the phone and lights in your own studio and doing stuff like that. Like, fuck yeah. Like, keep doing that. It's important,
Well, and that's how we all start.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you just show up with, $20,000 worth of equipment and start cranking out really good videos.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you also have to have somebody to like ignite that fire for you and tell you like, yeah, you can do this. Because most people will never do it until they hear somebody be like, you got it. You can do it.
Or the reverse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very true.
Which is toxic, but also can be great fuel as long as it doesn't consume you.
Exactly. Yeah. I had a little bit of that fuel dumped on me, and so, we're here.
And look where you are.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's a cool journey. Yeah. Yeah, it's been wild. It was a lot of ups and downs for a long time, of course, with any business. But also having 2 kids and my wife is also a business owner. So it's way different when both parents are business owners, 2 under 2.
A lot of moving parts.
Holy shit, yeah. Like I'm pretty much a stay-at-home dad. Like I'm home every day of the week, take care of the kids, switch off with the wife to go work. She goes work, I go to work, that type of thing. So like sometimes I'll have clients reach out, and I work really hard. Sometimes I'll have clients reach out like a week after I've filmed with them and be like, hey, I was wondering when footage is coming out. And like, I'll get that text with my son in my hand, like, when I can take a breath, like when I can pump this out and do this. So yeah, there's that piece. There's actually a kid, shout out to Gabe Kim. He's an editor.
He's been on the podcast.
Oh, cool.
He did that homeless documentary, didn't he?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
He reached out to me a really long time ago. And then Bob and my mom. So I was just like, I don't fucking care about anything right now. And then I saw him at the We Said Yes wedding show. I had a booth there. And he finally came up and introduced himself. And I was like, oh, it's finally nice to put a face to the name and meet you and stuff. So, Gabe will be somebody that I work with and hire for things that I can't do. It's come to a point now in my business where I'll need help at some point, And for the longest, I was like, I never want to do that. But at the same time, I'm kind of proud that I'm at a point where I need help now. You know what I mean?
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
It means people are coming to you.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a point where nobody was coming, and I was like cutting lawns and doing the things.
Sweating, how is this going to work out?
Yeah, I'm like, I got kids. Do I dump this dream and just work a 9 to 5? Like, what do I do? Yeah. So it's a crazy business to be in, for sure. Luxury business you got to work really hard. I'm not tying rebar anymore or doing nothing like that, but fuck, it's hard.
Well, not even just luxury business. Any business that you start is going to be tough.
Very true.
And you're going to have those same thoughts of, man, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
A lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh shit, am I fucking up my life doing this?
100%.
And you have to make a decision at some point and say,
yeah,
I'm going to see it through or I'm not.
Yeah. I wouldn't be here without my wife. I said that last time. Honestly, like, there's days where I just look at her and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? This is so stressful or whatever's happening. And she's like, you got it. Always. She's always been in my corner, and that's literally the reason that I've kept my head above water for so long. And now it's not head above water. Now I'm like waist high water, which is nice. So, you know, yeah, you know, I definitely wouldn't be here without her. So just infinite thanks.
It's important to have that community around you.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's a wife, friends, family, you got to have some people in your corner.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a tough road to walk.
100%.
A lot of self-doubt.
Oh yeah. I was about to say, and I am a self-doubter at times. So, you know, it's like double-edged sword, but you're holding the blade, you know, like, holy shit. Yeah. And I only have a handful of friends here. So it's tricky because I have kids also. You know, most people will be like, hey, you want to hang out? I'm like, sure. They'll like, bring your kids. And I'm like, oh, okay, what time? And they're like 7:00. And I'm like,
nope.
That's their bedtime.
Yeah.
Like, nah, it doesn't happen, but cool. Thanks for the offer, you know? But the friends that I do have are very aware of my children. Like Rowdy. I still work with Rowdy. We actually just filmed some stuff for some upcoming work that he has, which I'm super stoked for it to come out. It's been fun. But even him, you know, he loves kids, and he's always like, oh, just bring your kids. Like, if you got the kids, bring them with, and we'll do whatever, you know? And I'm like, okay, cool. But I have friends that are really understanding to the idea of children, and the people who don't have children, you can't force that idea onto them. You know what I mean? It's something that when you have kids, you'll learn. And I always heard that and thought, like, that's
whatever.
Yeah. That's such a stupid statement. Don't tell me that. And now that I have kids, I'm like, accurate.
But also, people get a little weird, especially nowadays, where there's this drive for people not to have kids.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You might regret that when you hit 30s, 40s, 50s, and think, oh, I don't have anybody around me anymore.
None.
I don't have, I'm going to be 80 and not have anybody to take care of me.
None. And even too, like, there's this part of having a kid where, like I said, I've been a coach for forever, but having a kid, man, it like unlocked the emotion button. Like, I can't even, anybody who hears this podcast and has a kid, literally just right now when they heard that, we're like, dude, for real. Because it's so true. Like, when I had my kid, it was like the emotion button turned on, and I started to think differently, even kids aside. Just think differently about everything that I was doing. And I just think for people who don't have kids, I'm like, man, you're never really, really going to feel what love is. Like, for real. There's a comedian that says this girl, and she said something like, she was like, there's no love like when you have children. And she's like, that's such a cliche statement, but it's so true. She's like, so here's an example. When my kid takes a shit, you know, I smell his butt, and then I know that he pooped, and then I go and change his butt or her butt or whatever. She's like, you know, I love my husband, but I will never smell his ass to see if he shit. And I was dying laughing, and I'm like, that's so true. Because, like, I do it at my house, and I'm like, why did I just do that? I'm like, because I love you, and you're my kid, and I got to change your butt. You know, just that simple, silly ass idea is massive. Like, I'd do anything for my kids at any time. Drop of a dime. Never even hesitate, you know?
I think in a lot of ways it's kind of like death, in that it puts life into context in a lot of ways. You start realizing what's important, what's not, what really matters to you.
Oh, yeah.
And like they say, it is cliche, but they say that the highs are higher and the lows are lower.
Yep.
And that's what kids unlock.
Oh, yeah. Big time. I mean, from anything. I mean, my son just the other day had the silliest tantrum. And like, all kids have silly tantrums. But until you have to sit and live through that tantrum with them and realize why they're having it, that's when you're like, okay, now I understand like where emotion is really coming from. Because you just like, okay, so he wanted to change his pants. So I let him go in the room, change his pants, totally fine. He comes back out, and the front of his pants was just flipped forward. That was it.
No big deal.
No big deal. So he came out, and I was like, oh, let me fix your pants. And I flipped up the pants. Fucking lost it. absolutely lost his mind. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, here, let's take your pants off. You could do it again, you know? And, no, I don't want to. So he goes and sits by himself. And I'm like, okay. And then he comes back out with it flipped, just how it was before. Freaks out that he doesn't want it like that. So in my brain, I'm like, okay, so you don't even care about the pants. You care that I did it for you and you wanted to do it yourself. And just like that idea of simplicity of thought made me really like, I wash the dishes now. And I'm like, you know, let me grab every pan so then I don't forget one. Like, just his simple decisions make my decisions bigger.
Yeah, because you realize, okay, what am I doing in life
Yeah.
that is similar to this that I'm
Yeah.
not seeing?
Yeah.
What am I getting tripped up on?
Oh,
it's really not that big of a deal, but also I'm blowing out of proportion.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with this transition with my mom and Bob. My emotions, I'll freak out or something will happen. And then I'll sit and think like, I just acted like my 2-year-old. My 3-year-old. I totally just did what he just, okay. I'm like, okay. So I'm old enough to understand where this is coming from. Reevaluate, take a breath. Here we go. You know? So it like unlocks a different part of your brain. And I think it's really cool. And I feel sad that people don't want to have kids. Plus, like, if we don't have kids and there's no more us, so
yeah, then society falls apart.
Yeah,
but I get it if you don't want kids for whatever reason, I understand, but at the same time, like, what is life really?
Yeah.
You've only got so much time.
Yeah.
And when you like to have a family and kind of help raise the next generation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know, no hate, but like the folks that have kids at like 45 and 50, I commend you first. You got balls. But when you're 60, 70 years old, those kids are going to be outside like, hey, come throw a football with me.
And you're going to throw out your back.
Yeah, like, dude, you got to, you know, think about those things.
And not to mention the health consequences.
Oh,
trying to have kids later in life,
hugely.
which people get a little squirmy talking about.
Yeah, hugely. Yeah, my wife had really easy births. That's a weird part of parenthood is the birth stories. I don't know if you've ever heard someone's birth story before, but like sometimes you'll hear, oh, it was horrible. It's like 16-hour labor and all this. Like that's all I heard before I had kids. So when I thought about, you know, getting someone pregnant and them having a kid, I was always like, I would never want to put that on somebody. That sounds gnarly. My wife had really quick births, which was lucky. She was very fortunate. But then people ask us, like, we'll be with our kids, all 4 of us. How was your birth? And I or Reagan will be like, oh, it was, you know, 4.5 or 6.5 hours. It was quick and easy. And you can see their face just immediately like,
yeah, oh, fuck you. Thanks.
Okay. And like, how was yours? And they're like, oh, it was 20 hours and I was bleeding out. And I'm like, holy shit. Okay, let's keep our story on the down low, you know? So that was another little dynamic of life that I had to learn, was the birth stories and that stuff. So,
but also you should share that story so people realize it's not always that bad.
Yes.
Because I've heard a ton of bad ones.
Seriously.
It feels like everyone has a bad story.
Seriously.
Like, oh shit.
You know, I think that's such a funny narrative that happens too, because it does happen. But the likelihood that all of them are that bad is so slim. But like you just said, every birth story that I'd ever heard before I had kids, horrid. I'd never heard of anybody like, oh yeah, it was easy. It was quick. It was good. Everything was fine. Never. It was always something bad and C-sections or, you know, umbilical cord around the neck and all the scary stuff. And of course those things can happen, but especially as a dad, you know, as a man, like you don't have to do that. I don't ever have to give birth. So when you hear those stories, fuck yeah, it scares me way more than it probably scares you. You know what I mean? So that's all I heard. And now my birth stories were great, you know, so it's a different dynamics.
And I'm sure some of that is just people are more inclined to share the bad ones. So those are the ones that you hear, those kind of gain more traction.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to, oh, it was fine.
Yeah.
You know, we were in and out in 4 hours.
Yeah, good point.
Went calmly.
Yeah, good
no
point.
trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, so yeah, parenthood's cool, man. I wish in some capacity everyone could have a kid somehow. and like enjoy it. It's such a gift. It's such a gift.
What bums me out is when people idolize the single life, or the single life, not necessarily without partnership, but you're both single so that you can do more things. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, you could also do those things with kids.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be more impactful on your life and theirs.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to travel, so you don't want to have kids, but you could travel with your kids.
Yeah, easily.
It's not like they ban kids in foreign countries or wherever you're trying to go. You can take your kid.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that big of a deal. Yeah, they might cry on the flight, but you're going to remember that in 5 years?
My kids don't cry on the flights. That's another thing.
That's another story.
We had a lady in front of us with, I give her credit where credit's due. She was, I don't know her situation with her husband, but there was no man present, no partner present. It was just her and 2 girls. One of her girls was losing it on the flight, and my son is sitting here, and Theo's in Reagan's arm over here, and both of them are quiet but staring at this kid like
just losing his shit.
What the fuck is going on? And then my son Ira's like, stop crying. I'm like, shut up. Don't tell them that. Like, you're a different child. Like, don't do that, Yeah. It's funny. Kid dynamics are so different. And I think those kid dynamics is what scares people into having kids. It's like, not every kid's a psycho. I mean, my youngest is absolutely insane out of his mind, but
but also, they're not going to be a psycho forever.
Yeah.
That's part of being a kid. We were all psychos as kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to your point, I saw a bunch of TikTok videos. My favorite TikToks or Instagrams, any social media video, my favorite thing is when you see like the likes will be like 1,000 likes and the comments will be like 10,000. That, I read through that shit. I'm a comment person for sure.
You like diving in?
Oh, yeah. They're so fucking funny. I just recently saw a bunch of videos about people who were doing that trend of, oh, we're single and we can travel, and like every comment was like, but you'll never know love, you'll never know that. Just roasting. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of comedy, and I think that comedy should be the one untouched thing. I think in comedy you should be able to say anything. And the reason why I say that is because comedy makes light of what we deal with on a regular day basis. It makes everything funnier. It makes you like think differently about the situations that you're in and things that we see. So when I see stuff like that, I think it's hilarious. As long as it's not like insane cyberbully, like
go kill yourself.
Yeah, like that type of shit. No.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, your fucking 2 front teeth are wider than like some silly shit like that, like, yeah. I've been tempted to post a video of myself and be like, roast me and see what happens, because I just want to see. Like, I love shit like that. I think it's funny. So yeah, I just saw that trend on TikTok of single people traveling, bragging about no kids, and I'm like, well, you do you.
I think it's just naivety. They're just young.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own upbringing story, so that factors in. But
yeah.
Also, what are you going to do with your life? I don't think there's anything that's really more impactful and more meaningful than having kids. Like, that's what we're here for. Yeah, really.
Literally why
your 9-to-5 job, working in that cubicle.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
No.
It doesn't.
No. And I 9 to 5, that phrase, that thought of a 9 to 5, I still remember when I worked 9 to 5s. And I remember the feeling of being in that 9 to 5 and just thinking like, I just have to do this. I hated that feeling. It wasn't until I stopped working a 9 to 5 and really just risked it all that I really realized how much more freedom you have in choice in life. Of course, it's a little bit harder, but there's a lot more out there for you. Having your own business and having kids at the same time at early ages and early stages is tricky. But we manage, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way.
And pick your tricky, because that 9 to 5 is tricky.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of bad days, just different than what you would if you were starting your own business.
Yeah. I talk to a lot of people about jobs and stuff, and they're always so surprised. I mean, I've worked construction, retail. I've been manager of 50 employees. I've done like every normal practical job that there is. Like literally, I've worked probably 12 to 15 different jobs in my lifetime, and all different niches, you know? Cause I just always was I never got fired. It was always me just, okay, I can't do this anymore. I want to do something
Time to
else.
move on.
Yeah, I was such a person to do. I needed something new. I needed a different type of stimulation so often. That's kind of why I like what I do now, because I never work with the same client. People always tell me niche down, but I'm like, I would drive myself insane.
I hate that advice.
No, yeah,
I understand it because theoretically it's easier to break into whatever market if you can kind of hone your scope a little bit. But at the same time,
I feel like you're giving up. I feel like either you're giving up or I don't know. It sounds so bad, but maybe you're scared to like diversify. I feel like people who niche down are niching down because the money that is involved. Like, I refuse to niche down because I love working with the solar company, the bread company, the thrift shop, you know what I'm saying? I like helping different types of people, not just staying in like one lane. You know, I'm not a one laner. I want like 7 lanes, and
you're a person.
Yeah.
You have a lot of different interests, as most people do.
Yeah.
So why would you want to just pick one and hone in on that when you could do so much more?
Yeah. And I respect it. I mean, some people who niche down are amazing at what they do.
Yeah, that being said, if you're playing an instrument and you niche down and spend 20 years working on that one instrument, you're going to be way better than if you pick 10.
100%. But like, don't you get fucking bored? Isn't it boring at some point? And if not, that's sick. Like, you're a different type of person, but I would get bored. I would get bored.
I think I just have a problem with how often that advice is touted when it is really dependent on the type of person that you are.
I agree.
I don't think it's just one size fits all.
Yeah.
Niche down.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I think I think it's garbage when people give advice or unsolicited advice from their own experience.
Especially if they're not doing anything remotely similar to what you are.
Yes.
You're like, this is your advice.
Yeah.
Coming from where?
Yeah. Yeah, that person who told me that I wasn't going to be successful at what I do told me that I should niche down, and that if I didn't niche down, I would never be known in our area. Well, because I'm sure you are going to watch this podcast, I just won. So, just saying, you know, that's the thing. You know, in my head, I just think niching down is playing it safe.
And it's unfortunate. I think I know who we're talking about.
Mm.
And he is a talented individual.
Yes.
And so to just squander that attacking others is just unfortunate.
It's sad.
Yeah.
For me, it's more sad than anything, because I'm the type of person like don't get me wrong, at times I get mad at that situation and I'm like, but like I said earlier, at the end of the day, like, I wish you nothing but the best. I really hope that whatever you're going through, you figure it out, because I can tell by how I was treated by this person, being kind to this person, I can tell that you have dealt with or are dealing with something that you are not talking about, and that's okay. But just know that it'll get better.
And that's usually what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody's attacking other people. It usually stems from something that's going on in their life or has happened to them in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like mean that for real. Like, I totally wish them the best. I really hope that they figure it out. Because like you said, talent for sure.
Just wasting it.
Wasted.
Just
absolutely wasted.
And for what? It takes, I mean, it's so much better to have a community of people that you can bounce ideas off of.
For real.
Check in, friends that are in the same area that get what you're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. I love getting the call like, hey, I need your help on this project. Or what do you think about this project? I'm like, fuck yes. Like, this is what I think. This is what I would do in this situation. You don't have to, but this is what I would do. This is how I would light it. This is, I love those conversations. And like, I couldn't imagine being by myself and not.
Where do you turn?
Bro, who do you talk to about that stuff? Because my wife probably wants to throw me out of the fucking house most days, because I'm always like, babe, I have this idea for this commercial and this is what it is. She's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay,
good for
shut
you.
The fuck up.
Yeah,
go
cool.
away.
Keep it moving.
Let me read my book. Go away. Bye. So, that's an aspect of life. I think niching down is just playing it safe. And if you do niche down and you're successful, that's sick. If you love it, that's even better. But if you niche down and you're bored, and you're just doing it for the money, then you probably should not be doing this business.
And don't be afraid to break out.
Yeah.
Even if you start with a niche.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be stuck in that box forever.
Yeah. It's a constant image battle if you really think about it. You know, like even for myself, I would never, I wear the same clothes all the time. I don't care about what people think about me. I'm not like an image savvy person. Like, I went through that phase and I realized what it got me, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know, but even myself, when I post things, you know, on my Instagram or wherever I'm doing on my website, like, of course, because it's a creative art, I'm like, okay, this looks good and this doesn't. But for who? For potential clients, right? To keep my business afloat. But even without those potential clients, for who? Are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it because you want other people to congratulate you or pat you on the back? And we all have that inherent need, whether we admit it or not. You know what I mean? Like, I totally have that. I wouldn't be where I am without that idea. You know what I'm saying? Some people take it to the utmost, and that's where
it gets squirrely.
Yeah,
especially with audience capture. You start posting a specific type of thing or making specific videos, and then you build up an audience around that, and they don't necessarily want to see you branch out.
Yeah.
And you just gotta buck that trend.
Yeah.
You gotta think, what do I like?
Yeah.
What do I want to put out there?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's about you. You made it. It's about you. It's your art. You do whatever you want with it. You know what I'm saying? So why not? Like, if those people veer off and go somewhere else, then they were never really there for you. They were there for your image or your whatever you're portraying. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. I think that nowadays the majority of people are just so image heavy, and it's rough.
Well, especially with all the AI stuff that's out there. You just have this influx of AI slop that is like just brain rot. Oh yeah. But it's addicting. I mean, it's cocaine on 10.
It is. And I think it's that way because it's that instant satisfaction. You know what I'm saying?
You get that dopamine hit each swipe.
Instantly. Yeah, I actually, in BNI, we had a meeting one day where this older woman, she said that she doesn't like AI. She'll never use it in her business and all this stuff. And like, I hear it, older generation. So I understand. But at the same time, little do you know that the AI programs that I could recommend to you and show you how to use would help your business tremendously.
It's like saying I'm not going to use the internet.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
That's the state. That's the hill you want to die on. Okay.
Yeah. And now we're in a day and age where you have to.
You have to.
Bro, in 10 years, if you never learned AI, you're screwed. Because I guarantee you in 10 years, almost everything that we're going to be doing is going to be surrounding AI, the use of AI, how to program AI. Like, it's gonna happen. And it's that keeping up with a trend, you know, like Ford designed cars, you know, they had to start elevating and changing and keeping on this trend that happened. I mean, they started making amazing things. So they were like, how do we make it better? We're getting to a point where, you know, if you don't have questions, you know, that you can answer yourself, you don't necessarily have to be like, hey, ChatGPT, what's this answer? You could be like, hey, ChatGPT, I want to learn how to come to this answer. Teach me.
It's all about how you use the tools.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I use ChatGPT for a lot of things. And I try to teach people how to use it and how to use it properly. Like, something that people don't think about, something that I did for myself. I literally had a moment where I could not figure out how to manage my time, but how to make it way better and like streamline it. So I had a better schedule of the things that I did. I literally went into ChatGPT and asked it, and I gave it a prompt of something like, as a CEO of a life coaching company, this is what I do on a daily basis. This is usually what my schedule is like. These are the things that I like. I need you to help me refine my schedule so I can make more time for my family, complete my work, and have free time. Boom. And it gave me an idea. And it's not like I'm going to take that and fucking do it one by one. Yeah. But reading over it was like, oh, wow. If I just cut out 30 minutes of something of this, 4 times in the day, guess what? I got 2 hours, so like that simple idea, there's a multitude. I mean, it's infinite. So yeah, people just think that it's like, oh, it's the devil. It's like, it's not really that bad.
It's just fear of new tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also new tools that are cracked.
Yes.
I mean, just,
yeah.
I keep getting, have you seen these Bigfoot vlogs?
Oh my God.
I brought this up on the basketball
so fucking
podcast.
funny.
Oh my God.
They're so amazing. Have you seen the one where he blows up the fire or something?
No.
Like that? Oh my God. He like goes and makes a fire and it blows up, and like you see him at first and you're like, wow, that's visually like, that's really cool. And then it blows up, and just like the detail of his like hair a little fringed and on fire, and him like, whoa, I guess that wasn't a good, like just that. I was like, that's fucking amazing.
It's great.
That's so funny.
But also I wonder, if you're a new creator just trying to make something in the internet, you're going to just be swamped by all of this. And there's already so much human generated stuff out there.
That was one of the things that I told my wife. I was like, people always talk about, oh, tell your parents, tell them about AI so they know not to fall to this scam or whatever. The news, have you seen the news ones where it's like AI news generated, right?
And they'll say, oh, this is not real.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Yeah. So a pro tip, still to this day, AI cannot actually genuinely mimic the human mouth, but also like 7 times out of 10, something on the screen will change. So if you're ever curious, if you're watching AI, just look closer.
Yeah, but that's good advice for today, but tomorrow that might not
that's
be
what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
So right now, yeah, but like later,
you're fucked.
Yeah, dude.
We're definitely gonna get to the point where you can't tell. I've seen some that have almost gotten me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially talking head videos for press releases. What?
I'm like, is this real?
Yeah.
But it's that moment of, is this real? It's probably not fucking real.
But sometimes you have to go into the comments.
Yeah.
And say, okay.
Yeah.
I have a weird feeling about this one, but it could be. And then sometimes they are real and you're like, oh, this is.
God, you're going to hate me. I actually, on real videos, I'll jokingly go in the comments and be like, AI is getting crazy. And people,
that would get me.
People will look at it and be like, wait, is this fake? And I'm like, no, it's real. I was just kidding. It's just like,
that's high level trolling right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Halo generation. So
those old COD lobbies, man. People
God,
don't know.
bro, troll lobbies for sure. So like that was my generation, was just like a bunch of crazy ass kids trolling, making jokes, saying wild stuff. So
that's the biggest indicator society's going to shit, is now they're monitoring all those lobbies.
Yeah,
I don't know if you played COD recently.
Yes,
they give out those warnings.
Yeah. I've gotten them before.
Oh, I got one.
And I don't even say anything, and I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. Awesome. Yeah. It's funny because in the game, I think there's like in Call of Duty, there's a skin. I think it's the Terminator. He like, I don't know. He says like "fuck you" or something like that. But if you said that on your mic,
goodbye.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's like so hypocritical.
Meanwhile, you can grab people.
Yeah.
In a crazy position
in their ears.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah,
we're gonna leave that in the game.
It's crazy, but I just learned. I just unplug my mic. I just play without playing.
I got to do like a Discord server, outsource. The chat somehow.
Yeah, that'd be smart, dude. Discord server. That's way better. Discord, such a great app. People don't. I teach clients about Discord.
I was a big Slack guy.
Oh yeah,
that's what we used when I was in school on the East Coast. Slack was pretty big out there.
Yeah, Slack was good. Yeah, I have clients come to my Discord lobbies to see their footage. Like I'll literally set up a meeting. They come and I'll share my screen and show them exactly where their project's at and what it could be, what they want to do, if they want to review or change anything. Because not all, I can't always just drive over to your office to go show you, to then go film this. I got kids. I have other clients. Like I have work. It's my job. So Discord, man, I started one day. I just thought, oh, I can share my screen to my clients. I'm like, that makes meetings way easier.
Now imagine if you were like, I don't want to use this new tool. because I'm afraid of it. Or I don't understand it. So we're going to stick to in person or emails.
Yeah.
I'm going to upload these
the emails
20 gigabyte files.
That's the worst. I know people will be like, oh, can you send me the draft? And I'm like, well, why don't you join my Discord lobby? And then they're like, oh, well, I don't want to download an app. And I'm like, okay, well, it'll take probably 40 minutes, something like that, to upload your file. And then you probably won't be able to see it for like an hour and a half. And then they're like, okay, how do I download this?
You said
like,
Discord?
Yeah. I'm like, this is how you do it, you know? Yeah. I think keeping up, what's that show, Keeping Up
with the Jones?
Keeping Up with the Jones. It's like, that's the saying, is like, you got to just keep up. No matter if you don't like it or not, dude. Like, you never want to get left behind, especially in a generation that's moving so fast. Like, if you get left behind, it's
going to be tough.
You're going to be struggling
It's going to be tough to come back from.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah.
Do you use AI in your workflow for work at all?
Sometimes I tend to keep AI away from my work. I mean, in my editing programs, there's like AI audio, like in DaVinci Resolve, there's like audio enhancer that's AI, like shit like that I use for sure. But as far as my business itself, I try not to keep it as original as possible. But I'll take an idea that I have and then ask it about this idea. And of course, every single time I ever use ChatGPT, I always give it a roll because it refines what you're asking way better. So I'll be like, as a award-winning director of blah, 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 this is my idea for a commercial for a client. Tell me if I'm missing anything or if this is good. And then it'll be like, maybe add some this or maybe think about this. And it just helps me think like outside the box, because I can't just tell everyone my ideas because then my ideas go. I told a prospect client one time my idea from beginning to end in a meeting, and they ended up doing that with a different company. All of their media is my idea. So after that, I was like, okay, I got to keep my
lock
ideas
it down to some extent.
Yeah. So I either, terrorize my wife, love her to death. I'm thankful that she listens to my bullshit. Or Tex. Tex is probably the first person I call or be like, hey, this is my idea. What do you think? Or like I said, if nobody's available, I'll just take a ChatGPT. If it's a funny commercial that I'm writing, hey, as a, comedic commercial, whatever copywriter, blah, 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 this is my idea. What do you think about it? And it'll tell me. And it doesn't matter that it's not human. It's the idea that it has the information in a giant database that it can pick from my idea for things to make. So
kind of refine the idea a little bit.
Yeah, just give you that little input that sometimes you need. I don't think of everything. I can't think of everything. I can't make a commercial and it be perfect, or oh, you shouldn't say this, or maybe add some of this. Like those little pieces are, you're right, I fucking didn't even think about that. That moment is like when I use it. But if it doesn't hit me, I'm like, okay, this idea is good enough. I'll keep it. Yeah.
I bet if I would have fed my camera problem into ChatGPT, it would have had it figured out in 30 seconds.
Probably.
Would have saved me a year of troubleshooting.
Probably. I love it too because you had so many people that came in here that
I would be asking everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody that had any experience with cameras, hey, this is the problem, especially
all of
if it
us
pop up and nobody knew.
No idea, dude. That was the last thing I would have thought.
Batteries. Yeah. I was so close to just saying I gotta get new cameras.
SD cards are finicky. Oh, dude, recently I just went and shot with Youth Ability thrift shop in Arcata. Went and shot with them for a couple of hours, and then I went and shot with Semper Virens Gardening. It's a new client that I have. And when I got home and plugged my camera in to dump my files, whole card corrupted.
Oh.
And I was like,
oh, that's enough to make you want to cry.
Oh, yeah. I literally walked outside and my wife came outside and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, just leave me alone.
I just need a sec.
Like, I'm so pissed right now that I'm going to take it out on you, and that's not my intention. Just leave me alone. And then, she came back to me later like, are you okay? And I was like, I just literally deleted all 4 hours of my work that I have to go back and now film again. So yeah, SD cards, dude, you got to make sure that they're good ones sometimes. Sometimes sometimes you could buy the best one and it's just faulty.
Are you doing SD cards on your kit, or are you using like an SSD?
So my camera itself takes CF Express cards or SD cards.
What kind of camera?
I have a Sony A7 IV and I have a Sony FX3. That's another thing. I upgraded and got another camera. It takes CF Express or SD cards, and then my computer, I just plug in directly and transfer files, but I have an SSD, and pretty soon, I mean, depending on this year meaning from this month next to the next July, I never do this year from January to January. I do it from whatever month I'm sitting at, forward, because all the months prior, given circumstances, not really pleasant. But even without that, like, they're different. It's a different time. So I always do my year like that. But, come next year, I might need, I forget what it's called. It's like a SATA bank. It's a giant, like, 300 terabyte almost computer array that you put next to your thing to hold all your files.
I've got a little mock version right there.
You'll see those two
HDDs right there. Yeah.
Because I have two SanDisk 5 terabyte drives, and just now I think I have probably, I don't know, maybe like 90 gigs left of my first one, so I have another one. So in my brain, I'm just thinking, like, I don't fucking want 9 you know what I'm saying? I don't want 9 SSDs.
It racks up quick.
Yeah, I want like one thing. And if I can pay, a couple $100 on this big bank that I could just keep in one spot, way easier,
I've been thinking about building a little cloud storage device out of the studio just to solve some of those issues.
Yeah.
So I've probably got 20 terabytes.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Spread out through the cloud, physical storage.
That is the scariest part, is the cloud. I use it a lot. But like in my brain,
you're worried about somebody getting in there.
Yes, but also like so I'm in the process of recording my kids in their like most intimate moments, like when they're playing the sandbox together and like those things. So because I never had that shit. And I'm a filmmaker, so like, why wouldn't I?
Why not?
But I don't make it weird. I just film them in little moments and then just go put my camera back. Like, I'm not sitting there waiting for them to do something cute, I just film them in their moment and I move on. But eventually I want them to have that when they're 18. But I'm like, okay, my oldest is 3. So 15 years from now, how do I know the cloud's going to even exist? And if I just depend on all my shit being there and then it goes away, then, shit out of luck. You know what I mean? The clients always I'll ask them, they'll say something like, oh, how do I get the files? Or where do I store my files? And I'm just like, probably get an SSD. And they're like, okay, what one do you recommend? And there's one at Costco. It's like $140 you can get. It's a great one. And I always recommend because it's fast. It reads fast. It transfers fast. And they'll be like, oh, that's, $140 is a lot. And in my brain, yes, it is. But at the same time, that footage is worth more than anything, So why wouldn't you do that? You're going to depend on the cloud? Okay, cool. In 5 years, if something happens, your shit's gone. You have nothing. You have nothing anymore. So, yeah, I always recommend people have some type of hard drive. Some physical drive that they can actually store things on, because like then you can use it in the future.
My fear is always then what happens if something happens to it? They burn out. Get like 8 years out of them nowadays?
Yeah, just transfer. Yeah, transfer to It's like somebody said to me a while ago. I forgot who it was. It was a buddy of mine's friend. I forgot what his name was, but he was saying that every 5 years, I think he said 5 years, he transfers all of his SSDs to a new one. And I was like, in my head in the moment, I'm like, damn, bro, you're spending a lot of money to transfer that. And then what do you do with the other one? He's like, oh, I'll sell them or I'll, whatever. And I'm like, okay, but that's like a lot of work. And then after, when I had that corrupt drive and like the shit that I've had, I'm like, that's actually a really good idea. Because who knows? It could fry tomorrow and I'm screwed.
Yeah. And my problem is I keep everything.
Yeah.
I keep all the footage,
I'm so
all
bad.
the files, even when you probably don't need to. Like, I'm not going to go back and re-edit some of these podcasts. So I could just keep the base MP4.
Same.
You know, that's a quarter of the size.
Yeah.
And I'm recording in 4K now.
Yeah.
So then, those files are just
huge.
Unreal.
Huge. I
just can't bring myself to delete it.
I know.
And then I'll keep backups of backups.
Yep.
So I have 2 copies of everything just in case.
This is the same.
Like, this is unsustainable.
Yeah. And then when you go to look through all the files, you're like, holy shit. Okay. And that's another part that people don't understand that we have to deal with is organizing. That's the worst. If anybody asks me what's the worst part of your job, probably organizing all of my files. I mean, I have 5 terabytes of client footage, and half of those clients I don't work with anymore. And I'm like, go through and delete it. Do I really want to take the time to go? Yeah, I don't. I just don't. I just keep it just in case.
It's like the modern day pack rat.
Yeah.
We're just storing data.
The hoarder.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh my God.
We don't have storage units. We just have terabytes sitting around.
100%. I just saw a video of somebody cleaning a hoarder house, and it was like they had cans stacked up to the corners of the ceilings. And in my head, just now when you said that, I was like, shit, that's all my like data and
that's all my drives. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
But what are you going to do? You're going to delete it and then one day find out, oh shit, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
That footage I could have used on this project.
Or they call you, hey, I don't have the footage or my blah, 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 bro. Could you send it to me just as a courtesy? I mean, most people, when they get to a certain point, they will, charge their clients for storage. I don't, because I don't, I don't have that many clients that I have to worry about having to find their stuff. Like I could find it. It would just take me some time.
Do you work that into your contract though? That, I'll have it for 90 days if you need it. And then after that, it's...
I usually don't. I probably will start in the future. Most times I just keep it just to keep it because like, for example, how I said in the beginning, I've never done an ad for myself. Well, I'm going to actually make my first ad here pretty soon for myself to promote my business. And I'll need that footage from however long ago, so there's moments like that where I'm like, actually, I will need that, so I just keep it because why not? It's not going to kill me. It's just there.
I have a couple people in here who record their podcasts now, and I was holding on to theirs just in case for them. And then it quickly became untenable because I'm like, I'm holding on to all of my, I can't. There aren't enough drives. I don't have enough money to do this.
Yeah, no.
I have to build a warehouse just to house all this.
You could do a service fee for people who do podcasts. You could house their drive and be like, it's an additional whatever fee to house your drive.
Yeah. But then it's also like, I don't want to be responsible for your shit. You know what I mean?
True.
Because God forbid there's a fire or something happens or the drive fails.
Yeah.
And they're like, but you were supposed to hold on to it for me.
True. True. See,
I don't know what to tell you.
See, I would have shot myself in the foot right there. I would have been the guy to do it, and then they'd be like, "Oh, well, you fucking supposed to have it."
My bad.
My bad. Dude.
Shit happens.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Like corrupted drives randomly. Like, oh shit.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
I was running into that with the camera issue all the time. The files would become corrupted, and you just be like, "Well."
There's programs that you can like use to get it back, but they're expensive. They're not cheap. They are not cheap. Tex actually just corrupted files, and he was telling me about it. Happened to him just randomly.
Was he working on a client video?
I don't remember what we were doing. I think it was something small enough that it wasn't a big worry. But yeah, it just happened to him, and he had to buy a program to recover some of it. He told me it recovered some of it, but it didn't recover all of it. And when he said that, I was like, I hope I never have to deal with that because, oh my God, no way. I'd rather it all go away than just get some. I feel like it'd piss me off.
And you'd be working 10 times as hard to try to make it work.
Oh, yeah.
If you lost something critical.
100%.
You just have to reshoot it anyways.
Yeah.
And then you're out the money for the software and you're frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how this trade goes so deep. Like people who are trying to get into this trade of videography, like, hey, you may shoot some really cool videos, But do you store your files? Do you like there's so many little tidbits that, have to happen and come with it. And honestly, you learn over time or you learn by mistake.
And mistakes usually how it happens.
Oh, I mean, God,
that's the big one.
Worst.
I've learned a lot of lessons doing this just by mistakes.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Brute force it. Okay, let's fix this one. Oh, yeah. We'll address the next one when it happens.
Yeah, there's actually a setting on Sony cameras where if you press record, when you get it factory and you press record, it'll just say record and then the numbers on the little flip out screen. But there's a setting in the camera that you can actually, it's an overlay, and it'll go around the edge of the screen in red. So when you click it, you can see the screen is red, so you can see that it's recording. I didn't know that. And I recorded for, God, I don't even remember. It was something where I had to record for like a time. It wasn't like clip. It was like record for a long time.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah, dude. And it didn't record. It didn't even record. In my head, I was like, oh, the files are corrupted. Why can I see what's on here from yesterday? No, didn't even hit record. There's also times where like I'll press record and it doesn't register. And then I recorded this, and then I'll put my camera down and I'll press it thinking stop recording. And then I'll just have a clip of me fucking filming the ground and, doing all this talking and all this stuff. And then I'll go home and look at my footage and I'm like, what is this, dude? Why am I talking about shoes? I was supposed to be, so yeah, there's like things like that I didn't learn until I made the mistake.
And some you can't help. They just happen in the moment.
Yeah.
I had one when I was filming at the other studio, and a guest just accidentally closed the camera as they were walking by, just bumped it, and it closed, and it was a camcorder, so it stopped recording.
Oh,
I didn't notice until after they left. I go to import the footage. Didn't record. I got the first 30 seconds until they walked by, and then it just was gone. I was like, oh
no.
That was a tough one, because what do you do?
Yeah, you can't.
I wasn't watching. I didn't have any idea.
Yeah, you can't really do much.
You're just fogged.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is going to be an audio only one, I guess.
God. Yeah, there's so many little technical difficulties. Obviously, in anything technological, I mean, like your board and cables and like, you got to be on top of it. The rates, that transfer rates, like, yeah, it's just, before I started doing what I was doing, I didn't delve into the technical side. I'd come from a background of just shoot and say, fuck it. And you can figure out how to transfer later and sick. But then when I got into video was when I was like, okay, I got to sit down and actually
figure this out,
learn my camera, study how this actually works. And even still, I don't know stuff. Like I had a situation where I would plug an external monitor in on top of my camera. And instead of being, an 8-inch screen, it would shrink down to like 2 inches. And I could not figure it out. So I called Cosmo and I'm like, Cosmo, because he has the camera. I'm like, Cosmo, I don't know what is happening. I feel like an idiot. What is happening? And he walked me through the settings and it worked. And I'm like, see, like those moments, if I was by myself, yeah, I'd be cooked. I'd be done for, I'd be done for. So yeah, there's so many different things that I had to learn over time. And thankfully I did, no genius. I still fuck up a lot, but
that's part of the fun, dude. That's what I constantly lean back on, is the challenges suck and finding a solution to them is challenging sometimes, but also it's kind of addictive because you recognize that you're making progress.
Oh yeah, 100%.
With each challenge.
Yeah.
And then you overcome it. You're like, okay, I got through it. I figured it out.
Yeah. Like what am I? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to do this. Like those moments are like, oh yeah, shit, I'm glad I sat down and figured it out for sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
How are you liking the camera?
Dude, honestly, I love it. It's realistically no different from my A7 IV. But the feel of it and the idea of it is what I love about it most. I was in a place where I was using my A7 IV. So for the people that don't know, an A7 IV, Sony A7 IV, is a photo and video. So it's called a hybrid camera. That's what they call it. but the A7 IV is a fluke of a camera. They basically made a camera so good for such an affordable price that it was a mistake. They should have never made the A7 IV how they did it. It's there's no other hybrid that comes even close.
Just in terms of the specs for it.
100%. So I was so set in doing that all the time. But there's like aspects of like, you know, an A7 IV, when you shoot 4K at 120 frames for slow-mo, it crops, which means it zooms in slightly. So, you know, shots that you need wider are a little bit harder. And it sounds like such a silly thing, but there's a lot of reasons why you don't want a camera to crop. You know, say you had a 50 millimeter lens and I was shooting a video of you right here. You would have to be within a certain distance for it to focus. So if it's cropped, like you're still focused, but now I can see into your soul, and really I just wanted to see your head. You know what I mean? So those little pieces, but you know, technical side, a lot of perks, but mainly it was the idea of getting the camera. The idea of being in a better place in my life and in my business. Like, I was so proud to be able to buy a new camera. And now I have 2 cameras. So like, I mean, I know people with 3 and 4 and 5 and whatever, but for me personally, like, just to be able to be in a place of my business where, hey, I got another camera. I don't care how many more cameras I get. I don't care if I buy a camera that's $30,000 one day. This camera, this FX3, will be my happiest moment of my whole entire business. Was just the idea that I got there.
Just because of what it represents.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like businesses that make their first dollar. They always put it up on the wall. That's my first dollar right there. You know what I mean? But I love it. It's an amazing camera. I use it for everything now. It's just way easier for me too, because sometimes I do photo and video jobs. And so having my A7 IV, it was always like, oh, pick. Okay, now video. Okay, now change the setting. Okay, here. Like, it was just a pain in my ass. So now that I have my big rig and then my other camera, I can literally just put my A7 IV on my shoulder and hold my other one. And if I need to take a photo, I just switch it, take it off, boom, 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 and I'm ready to go. So it's just ease of access made it a lot easier. But yeah, it was mainly just the idea that I could do it. You know, I was proud of myself. Like, I was really proud of myself.
It's like you made it.
Yeah.
It's a good indicator.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're on a good path here.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, some people might mistake it like, oh, it's, you know, it's cheap, or it's just it's the principle. I'm such a person of principle, and anything that I do, just the principle that I came to a point in my business to do that, proud for sure.
I keep looking at those pocket cinemas.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, it's a big investment.
They are, you know.
But they have, I mean, the footage quality is just unreal.
It is. You know, what I tell people, a lot of people ask me about cameras. Like, what should I get in preference? It's whatever you really prefer. But if you know, for me, using, say I had an ARRI. An ARRI is like a really, really big camera. I don't know if you know what that is, but an ARRI is like a really nice camera. I would never buy an ARRI unless I was filming like a fucking movie or something huge. Like, I would never use that for client work. Like, why? There's no point. My FX3 does an amazing job. If I were to upgrade anything, I would just get a really nice cinema lens. I'd be good. You know? 4K, like, most TVs don't even view in 4K.
And meanwhile, you want to get an 8K camera?
Yeah, it's like, unless you're shooting movies.
That's what I go back to, because it's like, now that I have these cameras working consistently,
yeah.
Like, I have to get a 4th one, but I do like the way that footage looks, and then
really
can record raw.
Yes,
because I kind of want to get into color grading a little bit.
You know, you don't even, honestly, I'll tell you right now, if you want to get into color grading, go Sony.
That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says.
Because everybody's right.
But don't they have recording limits on most of those Sonys still?
Not really, no. I mean, I've recorded 6 hours straight almost on my camera. You just have to have a big enough SD card.
Okay.
Yeah, like sometimes they'll overheat and shit like that, but there's no record limit. You can turn it all off. It's like that's the thing is, I used to be a Canon guy for a long time.
That's what I started with.
Oh yeah,
were those little Canon Vixia camcorders.
Yeah. I was a Canon guy for forever, and then I met this guy, Tommy Trin. We're still friends to this day. He used to film for a really big YouTube channel called Just Kidding. And Just Kidding Party. They just had like a bunch of YouTube. They're really, really big in the Asian community. They still have like millions and millions of subscribers. And when I was in LA, I met Tommy at a job, and we were shooting something for Just Kidding, and I was just a part of it. And I saw his camera, and in my brain, from being a Canon guy for so long, I was like, that thing is fucking ugly. Like, you see a different camera, and you're like, it's so weird.
Especially if it has a cage.
Yeah.
All these different attachments.
Yeah.
What is that monstrosity? You got 20 pounds there.
100%. Interface is weird, too, and you look at it like this, it's just off-putting to your eye because you're used to it. But I sat and chatted with him, and I was like, why do you shoot with that, you know? And I'll never forget it. He's like, oh, you want to see why? And he was like, come with me. And he took me into the bathroom. And I was like, what the fuck are we going to the bathroom for? Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing here, dude? Yeah, like, what are we doing here? Yeah. And he's like, shut the door. And I was like, okay. And I turned the light on. And he's all, turn the light off. And I was like, what? And he was like, just turn the light off. I was like, okay. Turn the light off. And he backed up next to me, and he put his camera out, and he put it on, I don't know, whatever ISO he had. 0 noise. And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, there's like no noise. He's like, this is the low light king of all cameras. He's like, you want to see something else? And we were this other guy, Noah Fletter, and he was standing on the other side of the room, and he was like, hey, Noah, can you do me a favor? Can you run from over there to over there as fast as you can? And Noah was like, what? He's like, just do it real fast. And he's like, okay. And he just puts up the camera, and his autofocus is on, and you can see it has a tracker. And Noah sprints across the fucking room, and the tracker never missed the eye. And he was like, and the tracking system is insane. And as soon as he showed me low light and tracking, I always had it in the back of my mind. I still had Canon. It wasn't until I moved up here when I was like gonna make my first big camera purchase where I was even talking to my wife. I'm like, babe, do I go Canon or do I do this new thing, Sony? I've never used Sony before. And she's like, I don't know, what's better? And I'm like, I don't really know, honestly. So I text Tommy years later, hey, bro, I'm going to get a camera. I don't know which one to get. Do you have any advice? And all he said was Sony A7 IV. I Googled it, looked it up, and I was like, I trust this guy with my fucking life. So boom, bought it, and it came. And I'll never go back. I'll never use another camera, especially because color grading. Shooting an S-Log. I mean, you can shoot in Canon a C-Log, but the low light capabilities is insane. Tracking is unbeatable. So
that's the problem with these Lumix ones is the autofocus is just dog shit.
Yeah, it's really hard. Shit. It's really hard. It makes it really unpleasant when you have a good camera, but there's just one crucial thing that it fucks up on.
Especially if it's the one thing that you're constantly using. And you're like, oh, this is just...
Yeah.
Which isn't... I mean, I'm kind of bitching about it a little bit, and it's not that bad because I can just set it here.
Yeah.
But I have a whole system to set it on me.
Yeah.
I have to get out. I use Johnny Cash behind me, set him up, use him as the shot.
Yep.
Reference that, then get it dialed. But it's a thing that you have to do every time. You're like,
100%.
I could just cut this out of my process.
I also like... I mean, it's in other cameras too, but I also like in my Sony, the peaking display. So I don't know if your Lumix do that, but there's a setting called peaking display, and you can choose whatever color you want. But when you focus, it will put anything in focus in that color. So like if you need to focus on the tip of a nose and my peaking display is red, it will show red only on the tip of the nose. And then everything else will not be. So then when you go back, the very tip of the nose is focused and nothing else was.
Okay.
Yeah, so I use peaking display a lot. I have cinema lenses that are manual focus. And the focus ring is fucking deep. Like, I mean, I want to say it's 270 degrees.
Oh, shit.
So like, yeah, so you got to like really turn it fast. And like when I'm holding it, I have to use my fingers like this. And I'm used to other lenses where I can just flick my finger up and that's like all the way near and then all the way far. These ones are not like that. So I have to run peaking display on it. And that's why I call it Cosmos, because peaking display doesn't show up on my big monitor. It only shows up on my screen. So I had to get that figured out. But yeah, peaking display is amazing because all you do is focus on the color. As long as you have all your settings like you're supposed to, your ISO is right and your shutter and all that stuff, all you have to do is focus on where's the red. Is the red too far? Is it too close? Is it right in the middle? So, yeah.
How much of a difference does good glass make? Because I've been looking at lenses. These are just stock lenses that I got as part of the kit for these cameras. And they're decent. They're the Lumix standard branded ones. But I've been thinking maybe if I got a cinematic one, it might.
Night and day.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't need to hear that.
Yeah.
Great. Now I'm going to be browsing Amazon.
Yeah. So there's
even if the camera's like subpar.
Yeah.
Night and day.
Night and day. Yeah. Well, because the reason is like most kit lenses come at f4. And for the people who actually watch this and listen, f4 is like the depth of field that you can focus in. So the lower that number is, the more blurry everything else is. So say it was photography's sake, right? If I was taking a portrait of somebody, of their face, I would never want to be in f1.2. And the reason why, maybe if I was only focusing on the eyeball. But the reason why is because the forehead, the chin, the ears, the hair will be blurry, right? I would want to be in f4, right? Which makes everything more, right, sharpened, sharper to the eye. Almost all kit lenses are usually like f4, and that's cool. But if you want something to look like nicer, like more silky, you want a lower f-stop. And kit lenses don't come in a normal f-stop. So the lower the f-stop, the better. So like, for example, if you got a cinema lens that was like, my cinema lenses are 1.2. And they go up to like f22. So it's like a really big scope. F1.2, I could see, like if I were to focus it on your eye, I could see you and all of that shit would be blurry. It just makes it just depends on your look.
Yeah, different feel.
Yeah. So like, if you're doing a podcast and I was on F2, maybe this would be semi-blurry behind me. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes a better depth of field for the human eye, because when you look at things, this is sharp. This shit is not sharp.
And see, that's the look that I think I've been searching for.
Yeah.
Because right now everything is crisp and you miss that depth of field.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to tweak that.
Yeah.
But I think it might just be a lens issue.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah, lenses make a huge difference. One that I could recommend and would recommend is any 50 millimeter. I mean, depending on how close you're gonna have them, you might have to like back them up a tad. But any 50 millimeter usually comes in like 1.8 or 2.4, like the cheaper ones. You can get a 1.8 50 for probably like $200, something like that. $250, maybe even less if you find one. But those are good lenses. Depending on how wide you want to go, like say you have a podcast and there's like 3 people and 2 people on the side and you need it wider, like a 24-70 would be chill. But yeah, it just really depends on what look you're going for. But if you want that like dreamy kind of look, not dreamy, but you know what I mean, more realistic, probably anything with a lower f-stop, you'd probably be fine.
Yeah, I got to start looking at lenses now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
It's always something. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Cheaper than a whole camera though.
Yeah.
Those pocket cinemas are like still $1,200.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of man, I'll have to find the YouTube video and send it to you after, but there's a lot of video cameras, cinema cameras that are strictly for video. They don't even have a flip out screen. It's just like set it down, set the setting, and shoot. And they shoot in 4K. They're really, really nice and they're cheap. But it's because they don't have all the additive things on them. So if you have like a feed system where you can see the screen and see how the camera is running, you could make it with that too.
Blackmagic has one. They have like a studio line that I think is cheaper than the Pocket Cinemas.
Yeah.
But it's got the same guts. It just doesn't have all the attachments and stuff. And it's just mountable. So you put it on a tripod and that's where it's going to stay.
Yeah.
So if you were going to shoot outside or be dynamic with it, it wouldn't work. But for studio setting, I was looking at those too.
Yeah.
You still have to buy the glass for it, but it's pretty much just run and gun.
Yeah. 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 If you're going for a look, lens.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
I mean, bro, honestly, when I first moved here, before I bought my first big camera, I had a Canon T2i that I was doing photography with, and people had no idea. And it was because when I first started my journey in any type of media, I was an editor for 3 years. I never picked up a camera. I never even touched one when I first started in LA. All I did was edit photos. So there's that aspect too, is like the editing is huge. I mean, you can make an image look nothing like it's supposed to from a bonk camera if you just know what you're doing.
It's crazy how much of a difference you can make in post.
Yeah. It's I think it's really cool. Also sucks because there was such a what's the word? There was such like a feeling for photography back in the day and cinematography where you didn't have all of that shit. Like
what you shot is what you got.
Yeah.
You better make it right.
Yeah. So if you wanted somebody to fall off a cliff and you didn't have a cliff, you had to make a cliff cutout that was like this close to the camera and then the person's back, so there was this art to it. Now there's not so much that. It's just, well, there's just an art in a different way. But yeah, that background of editing helped me a lot with the way that I kind of viewed a camera. I didn't give a shit. I mean, I was using an f4 on a Canon T2i. I bought that camera, in I would probably say 2014, and I had it until I moved up here. And I mean, that thing worked wonders. People would see me with that and be like, "You're a photographer?" I'm like, "Yeah, bitch, watch me."
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah, just watch what happens when I take this photo right now, So, yeah, edit. Same with video. I mean, I'm not the best, still learning, but yeah, being able to color grade was a game changer. Shooting in just a normal picture profile sucks. It's hard. I mean, there's not really much you could do. DaVinci, you can edit. You can color grade in there on the free version. You don't even have to buy the studio version.
And they've got a whole suite of tools. I'm still using Premiere. I have DaVinci downloaded.
Oh my God,
and
get rid of your
around
subscription.
With it. I know.
Don't do it anymore.
It's such a joke. But they got me. They got me because I was using Premiere and Audition.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, I'm already paying for it, so I might as well use Photoshop. And 100%. Then you get into, it's like Apple. Yep. You get into the ecosystem. You're like, I don't know how to get out of this.
I don't know what to do. Yeah. And then you're scared to get out. When someone's like, oh, do this, you're like, oh, yeah, for sure. And then they leave and you're like,
yeah, thanks.
I'm not fucking doing it. Yeah, no way.
Yeah. I do like DaVinci. I just haven't, my workflow is so dialed for Adobe right now.
I feel
I'm like, it's going to take me.
You got to restart it.
It's going to take me like a solid 2 weeks to get into the flow of switching tools.
Yeah. What I suggest to people who are trying to make the transition, I had somebody contact me recently and ask me what I was editing, and they said same thing. They edit in Adobe programs. I was like, dude, just practice, film something with movement, 5-second clip. Doesn't even matter. 5-second clip. Do it in Premiere, know your workflow, and then go to DaVinci into the free one. Don't look up tutorials. Don't look up anything. Just go into the program and feel what the program feels like. Then research it, and then just tweak that clip and compare them side by side. And then just literally keep doing that and practice. And then eventually it's like second nature. And once you learn that part, buy Adobe, like go to DaVinci. I was ballsy. I just fucking...
You sent it.
Oh, dude, I canceled my subscription and then started using DaVinci free. Me and Tex had this joke because he used DaVinci Resolve. Put him on blast, but I love you. It's too bad. He had DaVinci Resolve for a while and he didn't have the studio version. And I would call him a DaVinci horror all the time. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm editing." I'm like, "Okay, DaVinci horror," and he'd be like, "Don't call me that." Like, you're editing in for free, dude. Buy the version. Like, just buy it. Yeah, it's that good of a program that you could just do it in the free version and you'd be fine. There's of course, like, if you add too much shit, it'll be like, "Oh, now you have to do the studio version." But
even the studio version's only like $250.
yeah, it's really not bad. But there's loopholes. Edit a clip, compound that clip, export that clip, send it back, make your next edit over and over and over again. It's going to take you forever, but you avoid having to buy it if you're not ready for it quite yet. But yeah.
And I'm lucky because my workflow is not that intensive.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get to some extent.
Yeah.
So it's really just camera switching and color grading.
Yeah, I'm going to make this so much worse for you now.
Oh, no.
DaVinci also has an auto podcast edit. So you basically...
Is that the auto clipping?
It will take every waveform and it will clip it before it, no matter if it's a mistake or not. It will format it to what it hears and what it thinks, and then it will give you a preview version so you can cut all of the time out that you need to do, and then you just go and color grade it.
So, I was using there's a piece of software called Autopod.
Yeah,
that works.
Yeah,
I think it works on DaVinci now as well, but it was for Premiere.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And I would use it, and I would still unfortunately go back because it wasn't good enough.
Nah,
it wouldn't be dialed, especially if you have guests that are talking over each other.
Yeah,
you still have to go back through and cut it.
Yeah.
But I should probably look back into that.
The newest update blew my mind. So, dude, I am not an audio engineer at all. I mean, I can figure it out. But there's a new part of DaVinci. It will master music. It will master the video. It will analyze every piece, every clip, everything. Analyze it, and it will master it from completion, from beginning to end. And then you put it into the chop, check, oh, that's done, delete what I don't need, and boom, you're done. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
DaVinci is almost like it's such a fitting name because DaVinci is like a problem or a puzzle, puzzle kind of thought in my brain, DaVinci Code and all that stuff. But also it's such a like household name that in my brain, I'm like, it would only be fitting that you are the one who's innovating all of the editing part.
That this is a one-stop shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd have to figure out the audio. Can you record audio into DaVinci?
Yeah.
You can.
In Fairlight. Yeah.
Without video, just audio.
Just audio.
Shit, I might have to make the switch. I was looking at Reaper for a minute because that's a pretty popular one people use.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's subscription, but I don't know what the buy-in cost is.
Yeah, you can record into Fairlight, which is cool. So DaVinci, you can record your video while you're doing it, and you can record your audio into Fairlight. And Fairlight is not only will it, use AI to just fix your audio, but it's a full entire like studio basically. It's an engineering room in the program. So anything you can think of that you need to do, Fairlight can do it.
You can record straight into DaVinci for video? Oh, I'm definitely going to have to look. You can't do that in Premiere.
No.
I didn't know you could do that in DaVinci.
Yeah, it's like a tethered cable. It's like tethering into it. It's the same thing of like if I were to do it on TikTok, I'd plug my camera into my computer and tether it and then just record it and go. Yeah, it's pretty cool. DaVinci's like, it's a game changer, honestly. I don't know why people use Adobe anymore.
I think they just get sucked in. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
You just get sucked in.
Yeah.
And then once they got you for one service, you're like, well, I might as well get the bundle.
Yeah.
Like $20 more.
That's my only downfall is, I still edit photos. So I have to have Lightroom. So like, that sucks because I'm still impartial with Adobe. I'm like, DaVinci, just make us a photo program so we can fucking scrap Adobe completely. Yeah. I'm like, oh God. But, it's cool. Yeah, DaVinci was a game changer for me. It honestly made me appreciate what I do more because I really realized how much work actually goes into what we do. Once I had to sit down and, edit the white of someone's t-shirt to be white and not yellow. Like, oh my God.
And you don't realize how I've had a number of videos where they come out a little too warm and you're watching them back like, they weren't that tan. You know, they didn't have an orange hue around them.
Yeah. The color picker feature in DaVinci is insane. Like, oh man, like, you know, your curtains. Like,
that's the problem.
They're great. They're a great color, but that's what makes it.
And they bounce so much light.
Yeah, because your white balance.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, your white balance in your camera is like, okay, I see red, I see orange. Lights are neutral. Let's temp this. However, yeah, DaVinci, you just take the color dropper and you click it, and it just analyzes whatever color that you picked right there, and then you can go into the actual color setting and like make it cooler or warmer or fucking make your curtains green and everything else is normal. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with those tools again now.
Yeah, good luck. Now you need Sony cameras,
new lenses, and another camera. Thank God Prime Day is coming up.
God, I know, huh?
That's the problem.
Yeah,
there's always something to tweak.
Always.
There's always another piece of tech you got to get. New tool.
Yeah. Yep.
Just when you start getting comfortable, you're like, all right, we need to shake this up.
More shit. Here's more shit. Yeah. It's like they took our niche and made it life in a weird way, you know? Like, hey, guess what? Today's new shit.
Yeah, you thought you had some free time? Nope.
Nope.
Start going down this rabbit hole. This piece
figure
of tech.
this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I enjoy it though.
Yeah.
I enjoy the puzzle aspect of it.
Keeps you on your toes too.
Yeah. Yeah. Always something to tweak.
100%. Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, it's interesting, you know, like you're in an entertainment niche, but a completely different niche, you know? I talk to people about that a lot. Like, if I handed you my camera and I traded you and did this, like, I'm sure there's some pieces I could figure out because part of it I do, and I'm sure there's some things that you could figure out in what I do, but like, I couldn't fucking do this.
Yeah, no I could do it. My shots would be terrible.
No way.
The framing would be off.
My audio would be trash. I'd fucking no way, dude. Yeah,
but it is similar things. Like, you're working with this tech, and we both have cameras.
Yep,
we're both editing post.
Yep,
but just different workflows.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing is, once you learn a workflow, I think that's most important. People are afraid to get into, like, I have a lot of photographers reach out and be like, "How's video? Is it?" And I'm like, it's pretty hard. And it's hard because photo, you know, it's a still image. So if there's a car in the background and you didn't want the car, you can just nowadays get rid of the car. But on my video, I have to make sure that I'm at an angle that I don't see the car and still get a nice shot. So that aspect is different. But once you learn that workflow, I mean, shit, you're off to the races.
And it's just trial and error.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to go shoot.
Oh, yeah.
And then the pieces will start to fall into place.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be able to sit and think out the problem.
No.
You got to do it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, even to this day, with all the filming that I've done, I still will go home and be like, why did I shoot that? That is so bad. That's so ugly. Like, what did I? Or, oh, I missed this. I should have shot, like, still to this day. It's a never-ending game. And I think that's why I enjoy it. You know, I can never settle. I can never be at a place where I'm like, I'm great. Nah, dude.
Yeah, you don't want to get there.
Nah, fuck no.
But that editing background must have been invaluable.
Oh, God.
Because it allows you to see, okay, this is how it should be shot.
Yeah. I would say more than that, it taught me perspective. It taught me how to, like, see things differently. You know what I mean? Like, once you are for hire, like Gabe, you know, once you're for hire and you're editing someone else's work, unless they told you exactly what their vision is, it's on you, bro.
And there's a lot of leeway in that.
A lot of leeway. There's a lot of mistakes in that too. You know, you can over edit, you can under edit. Yeah, the first time I heard of under editing, I was like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. But then somebody showed me a picture of something that's under edited, and it's just off-putting to the human eye. And you have to think, like, excuse me, you have to think that, you know, when you're making things like this, like we kind of talked about earlier about, you know, the image part, you're appeasing to other people's eye. Because no matter what you shoot, if you like it, everybody else could hate it. And if everybody else hates it, then you're out of business. So it's like,
and if everybody likes it and you hate it, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
That's what your life is.
Yeah.
Working on shit that you don't like.
Yeah. It's a fucking...
That's a shitty spot to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. The niching down. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you know, it's the world we live in and the niche that I chose. You know, I wouldn't trade it for the world though. Like you said earlier, it's a fun thing to be in, and it's the challenge, I think, that keeps me, you know, running for the hills, honestly.
Keeps you moving and keeps you humble.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, winning that thing, I'm like, okay. I'm like normally a really humble person. So now I'm like, how do I promote that I won this, but stay humble? Right? Like, you talk about it, you're bragging about it. So I'm like, how? Do I just not tell anybody and let them find out? I mean, that's pretty much how I ran my career for the last 2 years.
People have found out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, maybe I just don't say anything.
I think I don't think you'll have
a
difficult time finding that balance.
I don't think so.
You've got a good head on your shoulders, you know.
You're
not out here just bragging and trying to show off.
God. Yeah. After parkour days, I can't brag. It's just not a thing.
Well, it's better to let your work speak for itself. That's what I've learned.
Yes.
Just put out the work.
Yes.
Let it do the talking. You're just there to create it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people will, you know, I'll chat with businesses and new businesses. Some I don't land, some I do. But sometimes, you know, they'll ask like what my experience is, and I'll show them my resume. Like, I have over 35, I want to say like over 40 businesses now, completely over 40 businesses now that I've worked with. And they're like, wow, I never knew that. And I'm like, most people don't. Most people see my commercial, see an ad, see a post, and they have no idea that it was me. But I find like a kind of joy in that because it gives me a better perspective of what my work really looks like to people. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't know it was me and you were like, wow, this is terrible, it's so green. In the back of my head, I'll be like, okay, so in the future, I'll make it less green. You know, like, I like that idea that people don't know of all of the things that I do. But there are projects that I'm really proud about. And those are all the ones that are on my Instagram. Like, that's my main source of like,
driving traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. People ask me all the time, why aren't you on Facebook? I hate Facebook. Honestly, I never use Facebook. I used to be a Facebook dude and I just don't use Facebook. So this is my Instagram. They'll be like, I don't have Instagram. I'm like, okay, well, this is my website then. So yeah, the main traffic that I drive is on Instagram, and that's all of the work that I'm really proud of. But also I use my Instagram way different than other people. I don't know if you've like really like, if you look at my Instagram and go to the very bottom, I'm not telling you to, but if you ever did and you went to the very bottom, it was like me making things and trying to discover what I was wanting to do. And then you can literally see there was one point where I realized that I wanted my page to be a place where I could promote businesses in our community. Almost every single one of my posts after that is me promoting a business to my audience. Because for me, I don't give a shit about me. You know, I care about offering something to somebody that didn't have a voice, giving the voice and a voiceless a voice. You know what I'm saying? So I just started using my page to promote other people's businesses, other people's events, other people's whatever. I just did the Humble Artisans Festival with Kalista, and she's super cool, super nice. She also works for Time Standard, and I just did video for her, and I put it on the page. And usually on my story, when I promote like a business type of thing, like someone's business or new piece of content promoting somebody, viewership's like anywhere from like 200 to like 800 people will view my story if I put it on my story. So for her event, I want to say it was like 400 something people viewed that story that day. And I'm not bullshitting. Over 80 people that saw my story showed up to Humble Artisans to support the event because I put it on my page. And in my brain, I'm like, that's what it's there. That's the purpose of what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is what we should be doing. Like, we're a small ass community. We should be putting other people's stuff on our pages and promoting people, and not just like me all the time. You know, I'm not a me person. I'm a we person. So,
well, that goes back to that community aspect.
Yeah,
and building that around yourself.
Yeah. You know, I reached out to a business a long time ago when I first started doing stuff, and they were like, "Oh, well, reach out when you have more followers." And just that idea is like, okay, you want me to have more followers for sure. I just had 80 people show up to an event to spend hundreds of dollars at this event. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's real world. That's not
real,
just views online.
That's
that aren't
real traffic. The foot traffic, not eyeballs, not scrolling. Someone shows up to your business. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I really pride myself on that idea. I will forever use my page to promote other people for sure. Because, you know, even though other people have their own platforms and their own things, they don't have the audience that I have. The audience that I have are people that really care and really show up. And that's really what I wanted the whole time. I really wanted people to build that community bigger and show up when they needed to. So,
and that's the kind of audience you should want to build.
Yeah. None of that superficial, like, you know, I have thousands and thousands of followers, but I don't know any of them.
And nobody shows up. I have these brand events. Nobody
shows up. Yeah. I want those people to show up and be present, you know, and give presents to people that you never did before. You know, like I want to say probably over 15, 20 of those people that showed up to that Humble Artisans event had no idea it even existed, but they're from here. So that idea is like, now, next year, you'll probably show up and do it again because you came this one time. You know, I gave that place one shot, and now those people will show up next time and they'll tell their friends about it. And so that's the idea. My goal is to just forever create things that spread like wildfire. You know, I just did a shoot with Ryan Peterson. He's a fighter for BKFC, and we had talked about it for forever about filming some stuff, and it just kept falling through, and not to anybody's fault. It was just timing and whatever. And finally, so we finally did, and we made a video, and you know, I did an interview with him that eventually we're going to turn into something a lot bigger. But for now, you know, what I'll say is we filmed some cool stuff, but just a little snippet that I put out had people reaching out to him and me that I never thought would reach out, but also people had no idea in my niche that he even existed, or that we even had fights like that in our area, or that somebody in our area was doing something like that. I mean, from somebody coming from Humboldt to go, you know, to a big league type of thing, like the kids who went and played football or baseball, you know, he's going to BKFC. It's like it's a huge thing, you know? So just having that ability to provide a little bit bigger of an audience to people who are going to show up and support you is cool. You know, I fuck with that.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're all trying to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you're really passionate about what you're doing, that's what you want.
Yeah. I've always said, if I could do this for free and like live, like if I obviously
just get by.
Yeah.
Just get by.
If I could just get by and do this for a business, I would still do it every fucking day, and I would never blink and I would never look back. For sure.
What are your ideas for your commercial? You workshopping anything right now?
Like for mine in general? Yeah, I have some ideas actually. It's funny because I can think of an idea for anybody, any business. I mean, I sit in BNI, and these people will talk about their asks for the week or what they're looking for. And if I had my book here to show you, every single page is a different commercial for every one of those business. Like I don't know why, but my brain is on rapid fire. Yeah. If somebody says something to me, I'm like, boom, commercial idea in my brain. So, but for myself, I'm like,
drawing blanks.
I don't know what to fucking do. I have no idea. But finally, I just came up with some ideas, some good ideas. So take them if you listen to this and read them. They're great ideas. One will be like a carousel slideshow, and it'll say something like, do you need videography services? And then each slide will be like food, and it'll be a video of someone in food realm, construction, real estate, blah, blah, blah. So whatever client is looking for whatever they're looking for, one, not only are they looking in that slideshow if I cover what they are looking for, but also they're seeing my work as they're, you see what I'm saying? So they're getting immersed in my work no matter what, no matter how many times I have to swipe, they're seeing it. And then the other one is probably just going to be a video of all of the businesses that I've worked with, but I'll probably throw a kicker. I thought it'd be funny, because it's random and not most people know my background in parkour, but I was like, what if I just huck out a front flip off a bench and be like, hey, you want to see something cool? And then it's just
open the video with that.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Yeah.
So I was like, that'd be funny. That'd be a good like attention grabber. But I got a bunch of other ideas, but yeah, when it came to thinking of mine, I was like, fucking dude, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I could think about it for everybody else, but for me, no. For Tex, I could think of an idea for him. For Kyle, I could Cosmo, everybody. I could think of ideas to do all their businesses. Mine, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it'll come to you eventually.
Yeah. That I think that's one of my dream like dream pieces to make is a piece about a content creator. And I just talked to Kyle yesterday. If you don't remember, his Instagram handle is Shot by Kyle. He's one of my oldest friends from LA days. So when I first started stunts, when I first started, working in that building with, all our celebrity clients and all that stuff, he was like my homie, day one, A1 since day one. And now he's killing it in LA. And I've always looked up to him because of his journey. I mean, he started doing stunts and dancing, and then he was like a background dancer for Chris Brown and Bieber and like all of these people. And then he transitioned from there to then being behind the camera, kind of like, being in front to then appreciating the behind the camera aspect. And I've always really looked up to him, and he has incredible work. So I hit him up the other day. Like, we talk often. We send memes, really gnarly memes back and forth to each other. But I just talked to him the other day, and I was like, hey, when are you going to let me film a documentary about you? And he was like, shit, think of some ideas and let's get on a call and figure it out. And I'm like stoked because I've always wanted to show the journey of what a real creator is. And his journey is crazy. So I'm like, it'll be really sick. It'll be really dope. I'm really, really looking forward to it. My brain lately has been going very documentary style. I like telling stories. So I think telling stories visually is my thing right now. So,
and he looks like the prime candidate for that.
Fuck, dude,
that's what it sounds like.
So cool. Like since forever, I've always been like, you're actually a cool person, and I don't say that about a lot of people because I think that's weird. Like, you're cool. No, he's like really fucking cool, and he's really funny and he's really nice. So, yeah. So we're going to do that. So we'll get in the works of doing that pretty soon. I always try to tell Tex, like, Tex, let me film you do this.
He'd be another great one. His origin story is pretty crazy.
Yeah. He always is like, yeah. And then when we go to it, he'll be like, yeah, I just don't know what we're going to do. And I'm like, I know. It's hard. It feels like conceited when you're in that limelight.
Yeah. And especially for him where he was in the limelight for so long.
Yeah. God, when I first met him, we were at a party. I didn't tell you this last time. When we first met, we were at a party, and he was in the middle of talking to Rowdy, and Rowdy was like, "Hey, this is my buddy Malachi. Malachi, this is Tex. Malachi used to do this stuff in LA, blah blah blah." And so like we just like kind of chatted, and I never like talk openly about my LA days, and it's not like an embarrassment. I just humble pie, man. I'm trying to like not talk, it's not my vibe. but my wife does it to me all the time. Like, tell him that story. Or, Rowdy's like, tell him. I'm like, fuck. Okay. So we chatted just briefly, and then it was whatever. And then he hit me up to do a job with him. And right after that, we just like hit it off. We had a lot of trials and tribulation with past people and whatnot. But there's this part of Tex and like our friendship that I can't even like really describe it. It's like when I first met him, I knew that he was going to be a longtime friend. And like I knew it as soon as I met him. Like I don't give a shit about anything that he does. I like Tex as a person. And if you've ever sat with Tex and just talked, he's like this he's like a big puppy dog. He's like innocent and kind and caring, but he's also real as shit. And that's what I appreciate about him most. So yeah, he's been one of my like biggest supporters in this whole journey while I've been doing this and like rooting me on constantly. Yeah, and I appreciate him greatly. Like he's such a good person, and I'm super stoked to see what he's been doing with his business, with his life, with Molly. Molly is amazing. He's getting married. What is it? Is it the third today?
Yes.
Third.
Today's the second.
Second.
Tomorrow's the third. Thursday. Yeah, because 4th of July.
4th of July Friday. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's seventh. I think he's getting married next week. So it's just cool to see, from his beginning of our relationship to now. It's like fucking so awesome. I'm so proud of him. It's so cool. Yeah. Anyway.
Good dude.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. And I think it's a real testament to, how he was raised and his outlook on everything. 'Cause like most people who get to a level that he got and that shit goes to their head. I have never sat with him and ever felt even for a second that it was like,
like an inflated ego.
Never.
Yeah.
Not once. Never. And that's all the people in my past in LA. That's Kyle. He's done incredible things. Never inflated ego. Travis was my old boss at the gym. I still talk to him to this day. He's done amazing things. Never inflated ego. That's like how those are the people that I've surrounded myself with for so long. Yeah, I think that's a really, really hard thing to find nowadays. Yeah, and I keep those people real close. 'Cause,
you have to.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah. I could never go back to a room of how big are your balls? Like, nah, dude, I'm good. My balls are small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't.
Thanks for asking. Though.
Yeah.
We're cool.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. LA days was wild. It was an eye-opening experience. It really changed my life for sure. So, yeah, I appreciate those people for sure.
Well, thanks for doing this, man.
Oh, of course.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we could wrap. We've been in here for 2.5 hours now.
Holy fuck. Every time we do this, I don't even know.
Time flies.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Do you want to plug all your stuff where people can find your work, your Instagram?
Oh, shit. I forgot. Last time you made me do this too. Yeah. My Instagram is mlstudios_photo. And my website is mlstudiosphoto.com. Deceiving because I do a lot of video, but yeah. And I don't know. I don't think there's anything else to plug. That's pretty much it. I'll leave you with a note for the day. Be kind. We live in wild times. There's a lot of shit going on. Just, remember why you started and never forget.
And keep going.
Always.
Keep going.
Always.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.